Hey there everyone, Martin from Matthew's Studio coming to you once again from my backyard answering your questions. Thank you for continuing to ask awesome questions. This time we have one from a gentleman named Anthony Dones. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You got a great question, man. Anthony wanted to know, when you're going to shoot a daytime exterior and you're going to put diffusion over your talent's head, what's going to be the best one to use when you have in mind other people on the set, like the boom operator and the sound mixer. When we're doing our craft, we need to think about how it's going to affect everybody else's job on set. We got to keep it quiet. We can't have super loud, squeaky dolly track. We can't have an overhead that's just rustling every time the wind picks up. We got to be conscious of everybody else's craft, and we got to be able to work together. It's very, very important. Sound, extremely important. So let's get into it. Grid cloth, it's awesome. It's my favorite diffusion. From when I started out gripping, well, I got a little too close there. When I started out gripping, that was one diffusion that really caught my eye. And I really love what it does. Grid cloth comes in many different densities. There's eighth, quarter, half grid, full grid. By the way, half grid is known as light grid, so it can be a little confusing. But anyhow, moving on. The problem with the grid cloth was that when we put it overhead and the wind would pick up, it would rustle and crackle. And that was a big issue because that's when the boom operator would look over the sound mixer looks over at the key gripper looks at the gaffer looks at, everyone's looking at everybody's making stinky faces, and you got to figure it out. Luckily, over the years, a new type of grid cloth was available, and now you can get silent grid cloth. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's grid cloth. It has the same densities, and it has a wonderful diffusing properties as the old grid cloth, which is now known as crunchy grid. Bummer for crunchy grid. I don't know how many people are going to prefer that to silent grid cloth, but anyhow, it's wonderful. The full grid takes down around 2.5 stops. Light grid takes around 2 stops off, and quarter grid knocks around a stop off of your light source. Good things to know. Wonderful diffusion to use. And another one that's going to be nice and silent for you to put overhead is going to be your poly silk. There's China silk available as well, but I love poly silk because I'm really rough with my gear. It gets used a lot. I'll tell you, the grip trucks I work on, they're not the most sanitary places in the world. There might be some dirt and some grime around them, and poly silk is a lot more forgiving when it comes to getting beat up all the time, which a lot of my gear gets beat up all the time. That's why I love Matthew's gear, because it can take a licking and keep on ticking. Moving right along, another really interesting distinction in between a silk and a grid cloth is that silk is going to have the light really blossom. It's going to send light in all sorts of directions. It's going to make it really glow, going to make it wrap a little bit more than the grid cloth. Grid cloth is more directional. It's going to maintain that contrast. It's going to affect the throw of your source a little bit less than that silk, and that grid cloth is going to keep your contrast a little higher than the silk would. On that subject, there's also another option that a lot of people don't know about when it comes to grid cloth and it comes to silks, and these two awesome overhead materials, butterflies. They're also available in black. Black is wonderful for diffusion, especially when you're using a big 12 by overhead, because you're going to put it over your talent. And if it's a white overhead, as soon as the light passes through the diffusion, hits the ground, your talent is going to bounce right back and then bounce back and forth underneath that white diffusion. It's going to really give you a lot more ambient light that's going to be bounced around because it's a big, huge white piece of diffusion. If you use black diffusion, you're going to get less of that ambient bounce underneath the frame. So you're going to maintain that contrast a little bit better and have a lot less of that light bouncing all over the place. So another option to keep in mind, you got black poly silks, black grids, wonderful option. It's super important to know all your tools. Even if you don't have them all in your kit, it's good to know what you can special order, what you can borrow from friends, whatever it is. It's good to know all the different varieties out there, all the different tools, all the different options that you have when you're lighting a set. Martin from Matthew's Studio. We love your questions. Keep them coming, please. We learn from the inside of this industry out. That's what Matthew's is all about. We don't go imitating other people's stuff. What we do is we talk to the people who are using the gear. We are the people who are using the gear, and that's how we come up with our solutions. And that's why we need your questions so that we can answer whatever you might be thinking of, whatever pops into your head. A lot of other people are thinking that same stuff. So please continue, comment below, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you for viewing these posts, and I'm gonna move on to the next one. Take care of each other, guys. Thank you so much.